Okay, welcome everyone. I am going to let everyone in here and we're going to get started in a minute. I would love to see people's faces. Please turn your cameras on. We are recording this so I can send out the recording later. I want to see faces. We find that people interact more when we see faces. Great. Well, welcome to the Illinois SBDC at the Women's Business Development Center webinar on startup success, idea validation before you put your money in. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me and the Women's Business Development Center, and then I will introduce you to our speaker for the day, Anyinja. So my name is Maura Mitchell. I'm a managing director of entrepreneurial services at the Women's Business Development Center. I am a lawyer, an MBA, and my family owns a manufacturing company that I help run. I have been at the center for 5 years, and I've helped over 2,500 individuals start up their businesses or plan to start up their businesses. Not everyone has started up. It's a difficult journey, as Anyinja will tell you. My sweet spot is taking someone from an idea to revenue. Then we have other people at the Women's Business Development Center that will help you move forward from startup to scaling and scaling to succession planning. We do that through access to connections, access to capital, and access to contracts. So please check us out at www.wbdc.org for more information, for more events. I don't want to take up too much time because we only have about a half an hour here. So welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us. And I'm going to introduce Anyinja. He is a financial services technology professional with 17 plus years of IT consulting. He's known for strategic and a focused approach with extensive experience in managing requirements for multi-million-dollar insurance core transformation projects, evaluating and strategizing target operating models based on a client's business vision. He manages client expectations and implements optimized internal processes, roadmaps, resource management, and delivery. And besides that, he is working on a startup. So he's working through the ideation phase and has come up with some startup success steps that he's taken. So I'm going to hand it over to you now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maura. Thank you for the introduction. A lot of heavy words, right? Thank you so much, though. Yeah, I have about 2 decades of experience in IT consulting services, to just summarize that. And I've also had experience on a startup, and the slides that I prepared, the discussion that we're going to have is based off of my experiences at the startup. So I hope it helps you all. So we did the welcome part of it. What we want to cover is, what are the 4 steps that we need to validate consumer demand about and practice how to validate the demand. Before we get too technical about it, the intention of this conversation is to share experience and not throw out some jargons or framework at you guys. So I was hoping I can make it more experience oriented, what we went through, what were the pains that we went through, how we solved it, how we came out of it, rather than just give you some frameworks, right? So every time we get an idea, we always need to look at it from a demand standpoint. Is there a demand for it? What is the need for it? Why do customers want it, right? So before I proceed, if you don't mind, can you put in the chat box, have you guys validated your idea with customers? Yes or no will be fine. Okay. Okay. I see a few comments over here. Thank you so much. Now, the reason why I asked that is, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this before, but the general statistics and the general idea is that most of the products and services in the market really fail because there is no demand for it. You and I could go down the path of saying, I come across this problem every day. I would like to solve it. But that does not mean everyone wants it. How important is it for everyone? Are they interested in actually pulling out their wallet to pay for it? That's the reason why a lot of startups or products and services in the market fail if and when you don't understand the demand in the market. So what we did was we noticed this. We noticed this in our startup, and we were trying to understand why people are not interested in the product we are creating. And we had to go back to the board to understand what actually is going on. What should we do to make, to take the right step forward to make it happen? Everyone have big ideas. You and I have big ideas, but that term big idea is big idea for us till someone else comes and says, yeah, I want that solution. Yes, I need that because this is a big problem for me. Till when that doesn't happen, the very first thing that comes to our mind is, okay, we can be the next Elon Musk. We can create a unicorn out of this idea, even without talking to the customers, even without figuring out what the actual problem statements are. We might come across a one or two problem statement over here, but not pay too much attention to the problem statement. So for us to go from a piece of paper to an actual company, we should actually put ourselves through a phase called idea validation. We should forget about our emotions. We should go straight to the customer and start asking them questions about it. For that, the best way out is validate it. Ask the customer if it is a painkiller or is it just a vitamin pill. If it's a painkiller, it means there is a huge demand for it. People see it day in and day out as a problem statement. But if it's a vitamin pill, people don't really want it. They're just saying yes because they're your friend or your family member. So what we are going to talk about today is how we went through this process of defining whether our idea is a painkiller or it's just a nice side project for everyone. Okay. What we did was we went through a couple of steps. Now, again, please remember, we are not talking about a framework. This is the experiences we went through to come out with the problem statements and find the actual solution that can go to the customer, that we can sell to the customer. We can ask for interest from the customers. So I will talk about a few frameworks while we go through this process, because it has helped us understand what tools are out there that can get us to define the problem statement and get to the solution. But essentially, we went through these different phases. Step one was where we had to define the problem statement. We had to focus on the problem statement and then define the solution. Step two is find customers. Where do our customers hang out? What do they talk about that is relevant to the problem? Then step three is talk to the customers about the problem statements you have defined, you have identified, and see if the customers are actually in agreement with the problem statement. Capture data and analyze and see if that is actually going to be a problem statement that you have to solve, or it's just a side project. Okay. Most of the time, we ourselves have been through the problem, and we have seen that we have kept ourselves solution-centric versus problem-centric. So the big idea in this entire session is to get you to focus on the problem, not directly on the solution. Not focus on being Elon Musk all the time or Steve Jobs, but to focus on identifying the problem before you even jump into building the solution or talking about the solution. So that's our first step. What is the problem and what is the solution? Before I proceed, just a quick question for you guys so that I can relate to how I can relate to you guys and speak to the problem statement and the solution. How many of you guys are actually in the Apple ecosystem, as in you have an iPhone, MacBook, iPad, smartwatch, an Apple Watch, an Apple TV? Just comments are fine. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, so it's a mixed bag, right? Probably 30%, 40% seems like a customer base that have Apple products. So you guys understand what an Apple ecosystem is. For others who don't understand an Apple ecosystem, it's it's the synergy that we get off of the devices talking to each other. Your FaceTime, your phone call on your iPhone can be can be continued on your MacBook or your iPad, or the file that you have on your iPad can be easily sent to your MacBook without going through your cloud database, or putting that file on your email and sending it to your PC. Then the other type of synergies you get is data privacy. It's easy to control the data privacy on your Apple ecosystem versus non-Apple ecosystem. You can manage the settings across the board. For example, the notification settings you have on your phone can be synchronized across all your devices. So these are the type of synergies that are available in Apple ecosystem. So we found that, I personally found that, because I used to travel a lot, and getting from my Android phone to my laptop was such a big hassle. For the email that I was formatting on my phone, getting to that same email on my laptop was a couple of steps more than what Apple ecosystem provides. Or getting the file from my laptop to my phone to review it while I'm on the go were a couple of more steps. Like, you have to put it on OneDrive, find a folder, put it on OneDrive, then go to your phone, open OneDrive, find that file. So there were a lot of problem statements that were coming to us that we were trying to figure out. The mistake we did was we landed up devising the solution even before identifying the problem. That made it more solution-centric. So we landed up creating a product that was heavily focused on only sending files from your phone to your laptop. But we didn't think about the problem statement that the customers had. It's just not as simple as talking to friends and family and defining this problem statement, but you discovering the problem statement. So we took it upon us to define the problem statement. And one of the problem statements we found was, for us to get this type of synergy, we had to get into an Apple ecosystem, or we defined a solution, and we started thinking maybe we can create a world that where everything talks to each other. We have this, an address on the phone automatically becomes a navigation on the car. The Spotify song on your car starts playing on your headphones, and vice versa. So we started thinking about solution without even catering to the problem state. That caused a lot of failures for us. So we came back to the whiteboard and we said, okay, let's talk about problem statements. One of which was, it is hard and expensive to switch to Apple ecosystem. Just to get that level of productivity, it was hard to switch to this Apple devices to get the synergy out of it. And then we also identified a few more problem statements. So just a caveat, we went through a lot of discovery phase to get to the problem statement. So we did a lot of learnings. We went through a lot of learnings. Y Combinator is a very big accelerator. It's globally known accelerator. They have amazing videos about how to identify a problem statement. What is it that you have to ask that makes it define a problem statement? That discovery phase helped us define what is the problem statement for our customers. So the people who said that you're not in the Apple ecosystem, this would be one of their problem statements. For the people who are in the Apple ecosystem, consider yourself lucky that Apple is thinking about it from a user standpoint, right? So this was one of the problem statements we wanted to fix, and we started discovering more such problem statements, use cases, and then found out that our solution is not just building a platform, but it is building an engine that understands the user behavior across devices. And that caused us to identify the billion-dollar problem statement and idea in the market. So going from being solution-centric to problem statement gets you this path of journey that makes you understand, okay, what should be the problem statement? put it down, understand the problem statement, forget about the solution. We're not talking about a solution on this slide. What we're talking about is what are the customers thinking about when they think about synergy across devices. Yes, Apple has it, but my products don't have it. Now, the problem is I don't want to spend the money. It's very difficult to switch ecosystems. So this is the problem statement we identify. Beyond that, your second step is to look at where your customers are. This is not very marketing specific ask, but ultimately helps you identify the distribution channels where you can talk to customers. But here it is more of a discovery phase of understanding where your customers are. Are they, where do they hang out? For us, our customers were college students, small business employees, freelancers, because they have control over their own devices and they need this type of synergy. So we went and tried to find out our customers. What we did was we started discussing our problem statement on Reddit. We started discussing our problem statement on social media channels, the groups that are out there. We also took these problem statements and did a Google search on the keywords to see how many customers, so what is the frequency or how much people are looking for these problem statements. So these are a couple of things that you can use to go and find your customers. The best thing that we learned out of it is, where do our people hang out that are looking for this type of a problem statement? So that is the second step, find the customers. Okay. Your third step then becomes, once you've found those customers, talk to them, be honest to them, listen to them, not just throw the solution to them, but ask them about the problem statement. That frank and candid conversation will help you hear what the other people do when they are in that type of a problem. People who are on the chat, think about the situation where you actually want to send a file from your Windows PC to a iPhone or an Android phone. The Apple ecosystem, it's as simple as AirDrop. But people outside Apple ecosystem, what do you guys do? Right? So think about that. Ask that type of questions. Some of the frameworks that I actually felt are very helpful is, and Techstars, which is another very big accelerator, uses is called Jobs to be Done, JTBD. It's a framework of asking specific interview questions to the customer to get them to tell us about their journey of finding the problem, how to find what is the pain behind the problem, and what ultimately gets them to actually go and buy a solution for that problem. Right? So talk to the customers, do in-person interviews, go to Fiverr.com and ask for surveys for targeted customers. For us, what we did was we went to Fiverr and we said, hey, we would like to run a survey with 500 people with specific customer base who have devices that are not Apple ecosystem oriented. And we got results out of it. So talk to the customers. That's very, very effective and very helpful. Next is, when we say commitment, it's more about what is their commitment. When you ask the customers, capture the data and ask them, what is their commitment to finding a solution? Are they so desperate that they want a solution right now? Or are they saying, yeah, it's just it's a convenience matter, we can fix it. I can find alternates around it and things like that. For us, the biggest, the bulb that came in our minds was, or the biggest confidence we got was that there is no one solution to help the customer get a synergy across their devices, whether it is iPhone Windows, Android Windows, or it was Windows with a Samsung Smart TV, or it was your Android with your Smart TV. There was no one solution to create that synergy. And we noticed that for every 100 iPhones Apple sold, 78 other Apple products were sold to the customer. But the similar competition in the market is 100 Samsung Android phones sold, there were only 23 Samsung products sold. So that Apple ecosystem had such a big power of, such a big buying power among customers. So our problem statements needed to be validated by our customers. So we took up a Google form when we were talking to the customers. We did in-person interviews, and we did a Google form for that to capture the data. And I'll give you an example. I'll show you the Google form. You're more than welcome to go through the Google form. But this is for us to take them through the process of understanding the problem statement, how committed they are to find the solution, and are they interested in the solution? Do you want to sign up for this type of a solution? So let me post that on the chat window so that you get an idea of how how we ask those questions. Again, biggest caveat is we've been through a lot of such phases to understand where we are with it. And let me share the Google form as well. Yeah, okay. So we went about talking to the customers and said, okay, let's talk about these problem statements. So you can open this up on your phones or your laptops to see how we went through this process. The first three parts of it were the problem statements. We asked them the problem statements. Now, granted, for a very experienced eye who takes a lot of surveys, this is a very biased question, but the images talk about the problem statement. So we asked the customer, is this a problem statement for you? Are you looking for a solution? Then the second question is also the problem statement. Third one is also a problem statement that I showed you on this slide. And we ask customers if they're looking for, if they're in agreement with the problem statement. Once they say yes, then we also ask this very important question, which is, are you looking for a solution that allows you to get a fix for the problem statement? This is like a turning point solution question for us, because this immediately tells us that the customer wants a solution, is looking for a solution in the market. And post that, this next question is more outside the idea validation phase, where we say, okay, now that you're saying you need a solution, take a look at what we have, see if you want to sign up and things like that. So we created a landing page, youtouch.com, which talks about the problem statement, solution, and the features, and ultimately says, if you're interested in it, sign up. Right? So that gets your customers to think about commitment as well. Now, where idea validation ends for us is this one. Are you looking for a solution to fix the problem? That's an important question. When we did this, we found that over 95% of people who don't belong in the Apple ecosystem world are looking for a solution. The responses were very big, and it clearly showed us that people are looking for a solution where they want a one-stop shop to take care of synergy across devices, controlling privacy of data, and bringing cross-behavior productivity. Right? So that's the focus of this conversation. How do you go from taking the product on a piece of paper and validating it with your customers from a problem-centric perspective, not a solution-centric perspective? Okay. With that, do your analysis of the data, and then once you're done with the analysis, see how it looks to you. Is it big enough for you to solve it, or is it just a vitamin pill? Again, just a quick summary. Problem-centric versus solution-centric. Find your customers, talk to them, and analyze the data. Repeat it over and over till when you have the actual problem identified and the solutions from the problem statement. Okay. Now, we'll open this up really quick for questions. If you guys have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to respond to your questions.
So I just want to share a story of one of our clients who's doing a service-based business. And she was starting a coaching business. She didn't know what problems to solve in her coaching business. So what she did is she created YouTube videos. 3 times a week, she would put out 1-minute videos, and she looked at the interactions she was having with people during these videos, and she built her business around the most popular videos that she built. So I think she's now helping more with resumes and with job searches on career counseling based on her feedback from her customers, from her prospective customers on YouTube, on TikTok, not YouTube, so TikTok. So TikTok might not be where you should be, but you need to get out there and talk to people and figure out if you are solving a problem. She now is going to get paid for speaking engagements, and she's writing a book after all of her customer interactions. So any questions? Are you starting product-based businesses or service-based businesses? Anyone want to volunteer? Product-based, okay. Good. Service-based, yeah. Yeah, really good stuff to think about, product-based.
I'm glad you guys think this is good, experience-based sharing. So I'm glad that that's the case. And again, if you have more questions, you can reach out to us. You can sign up on our website, or Maura, if you want, you can share my email address as well for questions. I'm more than happy to help them out.
Okay, I will send out your email address. Doris, you have a quick question? Because I want to honor people's time.
I do, right quick. How long should a typical product, customer validation last? And in terms of how much do you set a budget for something like this?
We did everything bootstrapped. So every dollar we pulled out was off of our pocket money, our savings. So I understand how difficult and important the dollars are. There's usually no timeline for it, but when we went back to the whiteboard to readjust our thought process from solution-centric to problem-centric, it took us a month to get around it and find the first set of results out of it. So it again depends on the product, how much you know your customer. We've had a lot of conversations with our customers in the past. So we were able to turn it around in a month's time. The example Maura put across, she took time, right? It took time for her to get to the problem statement. So the more you're problem-centric, the better, the faster you get to the answer. As far as budget goes, again, it's really based on your idea, the problem you have. But typically surveys, for example, if you go to surveys anywhere between $100 to $1,000 based on the size of survey response you need, the targeted audience you need. So I think Jacqueline had that question as well. She wants to do survey based. So I pulled up Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is a freelancing website where individual gigs are, you can go to individual freelancers for gigs, and those gigs are where you can get results as well. So I found a few that are authentic. They helped me get the surveys out to actual customers. And it took me, I spent about $300, $400 just for the surveys itself, which is pretty decent, actually. The surveys are very expensive. So you have to put your time into it. If you want to save money, put your time into it. But if you have the money, you can save the time.
How does Fiverr work in surveys? I know they are freelancers, but did you ask them to do the surveys?
Yeah, there are freelancers who do surveys as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They
so
have
you pay them
okay. Yeah, they have an audience base through different channels, through different marketing insights and companies. So they have those connections to put out a survey for your customers.
So you write it and then they distribute it, or do they do both?
If you want to save money, you write it. But if you want an expert eyes on it, then they can do that. So Bentley, there's no such job title, I think. But if you go to Fiverr.com and search for survey gigs, you'll get a lot of gigs out there that do such things. But these are actually marketing people who do surveys, these are people who focus their time doing surveys to understand the customer base.
Okay, one more question. Doris, you have one more question?
So with Fiverr and the marketing, freelance gigs and the surveys, do they have you tell them your demographics and then they pull from a customer base that they have already? Okay.
Yes, but be cautious. At times, Fiverr is with a group of a lot of freelancers who have premeditated answers, and they have bots. So reach out to look at the reviews, look at the people who have presented, who have given a feedback to that particular freelancer. I found a few, and they were very helpful. They were very authentic. So just be careful about some of those. But that's a right forum to go and find survey, to do surveys as such. Again, even before you go to the survey, try to talk to a few customers, because it'll help you hear what the customers are talking about. As simple as the language, the terminology they use will change your perspective in what questions to ask. So give that first an opportunity to talk to customers, and then get into the surveys.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for everyone for joining us today. We appreciate it. Remember to check out the WVDC's website, and we do have a team of people that offer no-cost one-on-one advising. If you haven't taken us up on those opportunities, please do so. And I will send out your email address to everyone that registered and attended today.
Thank you, Maura. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.